You are listening to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, episode number 105.
Welcome to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, where you will learn brand new and shockingly different tools to lose weight for the last time. And now, here's your host, certified life and weight loss coach, Laura Conley.
Hey, Yummy Mummies. It is a very special episode. We've been having a lot of very special episodes, but today is the first day that we are putting these up on YouTube with a video situation. So you can watch me on video if you're like a visual person, if you're just need more of Laura in my life. I can't just be listening. I need to be seeing her. Voila. Okay, so we are celebrating the 100th episode, the 2-year anniversary. Guess what else we are celebrating? If you don't know by now, you're going to find out that I am into over celebration. So I just celebrate all the things all the time. So guess what today is? Today marks my 10-year anniversary from leaving corporate America. So I'm going to talk to you all about that story, how I did that, and why it's actually related to weight loss. Like, this isn't just like a random podcast that's not related to losing weight for the last time. So before we dive in, want to give you a little client comment and a little fun fact. So I'm over here sipping my winter dream tea. Ooh. Okay, do you guys know coffee bean and tea leaf? I'm obsessed with winter dream tea. It's so dang good. Oh my God, it literally does taste like winter in a mug, like Christmas in a mug. Yum-y. I'm not even that big of a tea person. Are you guys tea people? I'm like, sometimes I wish I could be like more into tea. I'm like, it sounds like great, but this one I can get behind all day, every day. So go get yourself some winter dream tea. I think you can order it online too. So that's fun. If you have not left a rating review, what are you doing? Go do that right now. We are going to be drawing names next week. So I'm extending the time period. You've got one more week, and then we are going to be pulling names, and we're going to be doing the raffle for the Vuori amazingness. Okay. So there's that. If you want fun surprises in the mail from Foxbox, hello, you guys, this is a $50 value. Like, everybody who's getting one, everybody who does a rating or review on whatever platform sends me a screenshot, literally gets a Foxbox in the mail. I mean, come on. What is even better than that? And you get entered into the raffle. I'm extending this all the way until November 18th, okay? Because I'm like, we got to celebrate this anniversary too. So go do that if you haven't done it. Please, please, please. It helps us to free the moms. And that's why we're here, to free the moms. For me to free you. For me to help you free you. Okay, so let's talk. I want to share with you Jenna's client testimonial because oh my God, this just blew me away for so many reasons. But she says, before I started the Yummy Mummy experience, I was struggling with finding my own self-worth and identity. I would constantly beat myself up about my weight and food choices because I thought I was not capable of losing weight. Oh my God. Totally, Jenna, you and everybody else. I would tell myself I was too tired, too busy, and thought I would forever be stuck in my postpartum body. Since the YMX, the Yummy Mummy experience, I have found myself and never felt more confident in myself. I have learned to be happy with my food and life choices, which has made me a true fan of myself. That's so fun. You guys, I say this all the time, you're going to be with you for the rest of your life. You might as well enjoy it. Be a fangirl yourself. I lost 21 pounds during my 6-month course with Laura, and my husband said it's the best money we have ever spent. Yep. Your husband and all the other partners and husbands. During my family vacation, my mom told me I was glowing. And for the first time in over 10 years, I felt comfortable in my bathing suit. With the support of Laura and the other Yummy Mummies, my life has forever changed in the best of ways. And I wish I did this years ago. You guys, go be like Jenna. Go be like Jenna. Get yourself on the wait list. LauraConley.com. Click work with me. We are going to open doors in January, probably a sneak peek in December. So if you want to make sure that this is on your list to send to Santa, get on the wait list. So go be like Jenna. Now, for our podcast episode You guys, can you believe it? 10 years ago. I mean, some of you guys are like, yeah. Who cares? I'm going to tell you why you should care in a minute. But I left my job in corporate America 10 years ago to become a yoga teacher and life coach. Oh my gosh. And I didn't even know I wanted to do this, like setting out in my life. Like I had no idea. So people ask me all the time, hey, how did you find your calling? Like, how did you know this was your life's purpose or one of them? Because I consider coaching one of my many callings. Being a mom's a calling. Having taught yoga was a calling. So many different callings. Um, Being married to my husband, totally a calling. He's totally my soulmate. I love him so much. He's so great. He's like, you're not my soulmate. I don't believe in soulmates. I'm like, we are soulmates. You don't have to believe. Okay. So, anyways, how do you find your calling? People used to ask me this all the time. And here's what I want to share with you. If you are bogged down with a bunch of weight, it's going to be really hard for you to hear what your calling is because there's so much drama in the way. This is where I get into like weight loss is spiritual because I really think it's really hard to be super deeply connected when there's a huge buffer physically, mentally, emotionally. So let's lose weight for the last time. And then one way I like to find our callings is through curiosity. So I didn't know I was going to leave corporate America. In fact, I had thought that this job that I was in, so I was in pharmaceutical sales. I had thought that this job that I was in was my dream job. And it was my dream job for a really long time. And after a couple of years there, I kind of was like, I don't know if this is like fulfilling. I don't know if this is like, if this is my calling for forever. And so I just started to get curious about what I already liked. And I already really liked yoga. So I was like, why don't I do a yoga retreat? Like, why don't I go on one of these yoga retreats to like Costa Rica? It's so cliche. But I did. And at that yoga retreat, I was like, ooh, I want to do a teacher training because a lot of people do yoga teacher trainings just simply as a way to deepen their yoga practice. So I'm like, if I do a teacher trainer thing, I don't have to become a teacher, right? I could just do it to like deepen, quote unquote, my practice. And so that's what I did. And I loved it. It was great. I really was into it. Met some of my besties through my trainings. But I remember it was like our graduation of like the first training I ever did. It was like, I think it was like Easter Sunday, actually, which is totally random and weird that they would have that on a Sunday. But anyways, it was like our graduation and we had to all do a segment of us teaching in order to like graduate, you know? It was part of our like test. And I'm up there and I'm teaching and it's like official. And I remember this like wave washing over me of like, oh shit, this is gonna rock the boat. This isn't what I'm supposed to do. But I was like, I have to do this. I have to teach. Like this is like a part of who I am. And so in that moment, I was like so happy and so elated and like so blissed out. But I was also like kind of like, oh shit, like, oh fuck. Like I was like, oh, how am I gonna do this? Like yoga teachers don't make any money. And I was like so overwhelmed. So I remember I went on a jog that afternoon and I remember the sun like beaming down on me. And I just remember thinking like, the sun will guide me. Like I am on my perfect path. Like I don't need to do anything right now. I don't have to be in a rush. But my point is in this, you guys, is just get curious. Curiosity will lead to one of your many callings, right? We don't have to put so much pressure on ourselves. Number one, to find our calling. And number two, that like there's just one calling. There's many, many callings that you will have in your life if you decide to. So cut to the chase. I'm still working at my pharmaceutical job. Meanwhile, I'm like, but I have to teach yoga. I need to leave corporate America. Now, no bad blood on corporate America. I loved my job, honestly. And I actually love corporate America for so many reasons. It was really, I mean, I would not be able to be here. I wouldn't have been able to do all the trainings that I did and all the certifications I did without my corporate background and without the money that I made doing corporate. So we don't have to make corporate bad or wrong, right? There can be like and both. Anywho, so I'm like, I have to teach yoga. And I start teaching at a local gym just as I keep my normal job. And I'm like, I need to leave. I need to leave corporate America. I really need to leave. This job is not fulfilling. And what is fulfilling is teaching yoga. And on the side, I had started this like yoga coaching to help people get into yoga. So I'm like talking about, I like come to my husband. I'm like, okay, we have to have like a sit down meeting. I think at the time I was the breadwinner of our, mini family, just the two of us at the time. This is 10 years ago. And I'm going to like sit him down and I'm going to be like, okay, babe, I have to do this. I like sit down. He's like, okay, I'm on board. He's like very supportive. He like has known that this has been brewing, right? So he sits down with me. He's like, yes, I'm totally on board. We made a plan. We're like, okay, we need to save up this amount of money. And then in a year, like it'll take us maybe 6 months, 8 months, a year to save up. We had created a certain amount of money so that we didn't have to like really change our lifestyle. So we're like, okay, we're going to save up this amount of money and then we're doing it. And so that was that. And then literally the next week, right? So here's where I want you to hold the belief for make a plan, but then tell the universe like this or something better. This plan or something better. So literally, I think it was like the next day or the next week, I'm sitting at Starbucks with my boss and he's like, so I just want to let you know that before like corporate tells you, before you get on the big company-wide call, I want to let you know that we're going to be going through layoffs. You are not getting laid off. So if you hear anything from the rumor mill, I just want to let you know your job is totally safe. You're not going anywhere, but they are going to be laying off like 50% of the workforce or whatever. And I was like, I like couldn't even keep my mouth shut. I like knew it was like inappropriate, but I was like, do you think that they could just like lay me off? Do you think that they could just like lay me off and give me a severance package so that I could like go be a yoga teacher? I need to be a yoga teacher. And he was like rolling. He was not rolling my eyes. He was totally rolling his eyes at me because he's like, oh my God, he is like this traditional white dude. I loved him, but traditional white dude, like 2.5 kids, like, fully subscribing to the American dream. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, that is like career suicide. Like, no, like, you're not doing that. And he was like, no, that's not a thing you're doing. And I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, whatever. So then I get on the company-wide call, like the next day or the next day, whenever. And they're like, this layoff does not have to do necessarily with performance. I think they were going to lay off like the bottom 50% in terms of like performers, whatever. But they're like, but if you know you're going to be leaving in the next year or so, you can come forward and we will give you a severance package. And I was like raising both of my hands. I was like, yes, me. I was like running to the front of the line. I'm like, please. So I find out the severance package. It says literally to the T, you guys, the exact same amount of money that we had planned on saving. It's crazy. So this is what I want to teach you. Put it into the universe. Don't be rushy about it. Don't be hustly about it. Get a plan and then this or something better. So if you, like, for example, wanted to the Yummy Mummy experience, it costs $5,000 and your brain's probably like, there's no way. I mean, to some of you guys, it's expensive. And I agree, it's expensive. I mean, the ROI is totally priceless, but I get it. 5K is a lot of money, especially as moms. Like, we do not feel comfortable spending a lot of money on ourselves. This is conditioning that we've got, that we have to put everybody else before us, and that to spend money on ourselves when we have kids is like super selfish. It's not. That's totally wrong. But my point is, you can make a plan. Make a plan. You are resourceful, just as I was. You are resourceful. In order to find that money, you make a plan. You figure it out. And then this or something better. And hold space for the universe to deliver. It is so crazy how many times I have done that. And then the universe has, and you could say God, or you could say energy, you could say whatever, has provided. Because I've just trusted. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what I need to do, but this or something better. Universe, if you can come up with something more creative, like volunteer, like you could come forward and like voluntarily like raise your hand to get laid off, all freaking in. So I'm like, okay, I got to talk to my husband. I got to like tell him. I'm like, babe, we got to sit down and have another conversation. And he's like, why? Why do we have to sit down and have another conversation? He's like, it's like the universe is handing this to you on a silver platter. Like there's nothing to converse about. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, shit, then I really have to do this. I really have to leave my like safe, steady job and take a big risk and go all in on me. And I was like, oh no, it was like too fast, right? But the reality is that I could decide I was ready. And so I did. And were there naysayers out there? Yes. I mean, I had a really great support system. I feel like a lot of people were really cheering me on. But there were some naysayers. Like, what do you mean you're going to leave your corporate job with like your corporate car, with your corporate credit card, with your like perk after perk after perk? Right? This is called the golden handcuffs. Have you guys heard of the golden handcuffs? When you have a job and it's like pretty good, but it's not amazing and it doesn't totally suck. And there's perks, especially financially, like maybe with your insurance, maybe with your oh my God, the 401k program at this place was insane. They matched it like times 3. It was crazy. My dad, who's like a financial guy, he was like, I've never seen this before. This is insane. So I had to be willing to leave all of that behind, knowing that I could just fall on my freaking face. But my coach always talks about, is it more risky to work for a corporation or is it more risky to work for yourself? And I'm like, ooh, that's good. Because I get to decide, right? Yeah, are there going to be hiccups in my business? For sure. But I've now like come on board with her and like, you know what? It's riskier to work for a corporation when they could fire you tomorrow. I'm never going to fire myself. I'm going to get up every day, free the fucking moms. Right? So I really want to encourage you to do the same. What is it? What is the thing that you want? It might be doing the Yummy Mummy experience. Like I gave you that example. You might already know exactly what it is that you want and you've just believed for so long that you can't have it. Yes, you can have it. You're resourceful. You're smart. You can figure it out. Everything is figure outable. Really, seriously, truly. Just play with it. You can go back to not believing later. And if you don't know what your calling is or you don't know what the next step is, I really want to encourage you to just be curious. And if you do feel like the weight is in your way, I want to encourage you to get it out of the way because it's in the way. It is. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's why I switched. That's literally why I switched from coaching people on how to take the golden handcuffs off to freeing the moms. 2 types of freedom, really, right? But so many of us couldn't actually see what it was that we wanted because we were too busy over calculating how many calories we had just eaten and how we were going to make up for it in our workout tomorrow and how we suck and how we have no energy and how could we let ourselves do that again and what's the next diet. There's so much energy output being put on something that we really can just end. We don't have to do it for forever, okay? So I want you to trust in yourself and the energies of the world. As woo as that might sound, trust, because you have desires inside of you. That desire that was ignited through me being willing to be curious, it was lit up. Like the spark was shining bright that day when I taught yoga. Right? It was clear as day. It was like I couldn't not teach yoga and then essentially become a coach. And I just couldn't not do it. It's like a part of my DNA almost. So you want to allow those desires that are within you to bubble up to the surface. Don't lie to yourself. If you do want to lose weight, it is a worthy desire. It is a worthy want. So much of our culture will teach us that you need to weigh like 112 pounds in order to earn your worth or be good enough. And then on the flip side, our culture will teach us, no, you should just be able to love and accept your body at any weight. No, and both. Where's the middle path? What I found is that I had a deep desire to lose weight for the last time, to be free from food forever, to stop it with the diet drama. I had a deep desire. And by me ignoring that deep desire, that was the opposite of self-love. You know what? One of the most radical acts of self-love is listening to your desires. Do not let culture, society, conditioning tell you that it is wrong to want to lose weight if that's what you genuinely want. If you don't feel like yourself, if you feel trapped in the body that you are in, let's go. Let's end this once and for all. Let's figure it out just how I figured it out and trusted in the universe to have my back. Figure it out, because it could be blocking you from even more desires, from your purpose, from you living out what you are meant to live out in this one precious, beautiful, beautiful life. Really, it could be blocking you. So let's lose this physical, mental, emotional, spiritual weight once and for freaking all. So if this is what you want, stop squashing that want. Stop squashing that desire. There's a lot of talk about desire inside. If you have a desire, it's there on purpose. It's not because you're selfish. It's not because 8,000 other reasons. It's there because it is like your map to your destiny. So follow that. It's your responsibility to follow that. So it might not even be weight related. It could be something else. If you're getting that little itch or that little whisper, that little inkling, follow it. Just be curious. You don't have to be attached to it forever. Just be curious. Like, I totally could have gone to yoga teacher training and be like, oh, that was great. Not for me. And then gone to a coach certification, right? You're allowed to be curious. You're allowed to have not everything end up being a calling. And then, like, you will find it if you are curious and willing to believe. Okay. So that is the episode. That is what I have for you today. I love you guys so much. I hope that was super helpful. I feel like the only thing, though, that I do want to share is that I was really scared. Like, I think I'm forgetting to tell you guys that part, that I was really scared. So anything that you're going to do that's you living out your desire, that's you taking that leap of faith, it's going to feel really scary and really shaky. And that is normal. And you need to normalize that for yourself. This is normal. My brain likes safe. My brain likes familiar. Ground yourself. This is normal, that this feels really unsafe and almost dangerous. But it's not. I have plenty of food. I have plenty of water. I've got my own back, right? So I do want to let you know I was scared out of my mind. But it's exhilarating, right? So there is that fear, but then on the other side, there's also that exhilaration. People talk about this all the time too. What's the worst that could happen? Is the worst that could happen that you go and you try teaching yoga and you realize you don't like it and then you go back? Is the worst that could happen that you fall on your face and you actually suck at teaching yoga? No. The worst thing that can happen is if you don't try. That's the worst thing. Being on your deathbed and wondering, I wonder. That is the worst thing that could happen. So go bet on yourself just for like a couple months. Then you can go back to your old way of living if you decide you like that better. Okay, so that's for real the episode I have for you. I love you all so much. Have the best week ever. Make sure that you leave a rating review. Send it to me, Laura@lauraconley.com. Or if you want to share it on social media, you'll still get the same Foxbox prize in the mail. Email me a screenshot of your share on social media my email, Laura@lauraconley.com. And then make sure you're on the wait list, you guys. If you're not on the wait list for January, my 6-month, okay, in case you're like, what is the Yummy Mummy experience? This is where you lose weight for the last time. This is where it's guaranteed, okay? 6 months. Our cohort, our private cohort is starting in January, okay? We're going to go all the way through to July, 6 months of group coaching, coursework. I'm going to have your own back, accountability, balance of your hunger hormones, rewiring your brain, learning how to feel feelings, having fun, learning how to love yourself and your body. It is literally a holistic program from nose to tail. Everything is covered. You got to go get on the wait list. You are going to want your spot. So we're going to do a little sneak peek in December. So come on in and let's lose weight for the last time. If you're freaked out about the money piece, make a plan. You're resourceful. You have access to more than you have access to. Bet you anything. That's what my clients always tell me. They're like, yeah, when I really decided that this is what I wanted and this is what I was going to go get, I figured it out. Oh my God, I have figured out so many things when it's come to money, just because I have the belief that I'm resourceful and I can figure this out. There is a way. I want this more than anything. And the ROI I've got because of that mindset has served me and my family tenfold. And I want to be really clear about that part. Me and my family. Remember, you guys, when you act selfish, quote unquote selfish, that is the first act of selflessness. You have to put yourself at the top of the list. Cannot pour from an empty cup. You know all the cliche sayings. Got to put your oxygen mask on before you put everybody else's on. Okay, that's all I have for you. I love you so much. Goodbye. Have the best week ever. Hey, if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, I would love it if you leave a rate, review, and a subscribe on whatever you're listening to this podcast in. Pretty please with a cherry on top. It would help me so much, and it would help all the other mamas out there hear this message. Thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. And you have to come check out the Yummy Mummy experience. It's my proven lose weight for the last time group coaching and course. Head to lauraconley.com and just click work with me. Other than that, you guys, I would love to give you a free gift. If you want your free listener only gift, go to lauraconley.com/gift. And from there, you will get your free best ever weight loss hack. So cool. The last thing I want to tell you, you guys, is I do have a free Facebook group. It's called, you guessed it, the Yummy Mummy. Lose weight for the last time, end body drama, and get food freedom. You can just search that in Facebook, or again, you can head to the show notes and you'll find the link there. All right, you guys, have the best day ever.